You're welcome. This is OGTV News. I am Mojesola Shulaja. Our top stories today. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo advocates good leadership to stimulate Nigeria's unity. Ogun government targets low-income earners in the new housing scheme. Federal government bonds for January oversubscribed by 88.28 billion naira. U.S. Senate to press ahead for ex-President Donald Trump's impeachment. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it.
And on sport news tonight, what athletics boss mauls staging Tokyo 2020 behind closed doors? This and more sporting stories much later on the news. My name is Moses Ojewumi. Stay with us.
The former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, has advocated for good leadership in all ramifications as a means to stimulate the unity and progress of the country. Chief Obasanjo stated this while receiving executive members of concerned citizens of Ogun State at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Yusuf Ganiu reports.
Concerned Citizens of Ogun State is a multidimensional and non-partisan public interest group of professionals that seek to educate and organize the citizens in order to engage the government towards value-based democratic deliverable. This group visited the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, at the OOPL Library in Abeokuta to discuss some national and state challenges ranging from the ongoing national identification registration as well as security and other related matters affecting all strata of the economy.
Concerned citizen is a generic term. I believe that for anybody to be able to help you and with all due respect, to take you seriously, he needs to know what you are concerned about.
Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said issues of structuring, particularly the state of security and economy, needs more practical structure as well as potentials for the realization of good governance in the country.
You talk to 12 people and you get 12 different ideas of restructuring, and that is the truth. When it comes to brass tag, what exactly are they looking for? I found in a simple, clear language, what they are asking for is devolution of power, responsibilities, and resources.
Some of the group members have this to say.
Yeah, we've been able to learn a lot. We've been able to understand certain things that every citizen has a concern, and if those concerns are channeled properly and to the right authorities at the right time, that we can actually begin to effect a positive change in our nation.
He told us that he does not believe in people sitting down in a corner, just mourning and whinging, complaining, that everybody needs to stand up and look for practical solutions.
The problem we have in Nigeria is not without a solution. And then he also explained that the agitation on restructuring need proper definition.
Concerned Citizen Group was established last August. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Citizens' enumeration is crucial in the driving of automation and digitization of revenue in Ogun State. To this end, the state government has approved the establishment of Ogun State Citizens Register Agency. Commissioner for Finance and Chief Economic Advisor in the state, Mr. Dapo Okubadijo, disclosed this while fielding questions from journalists on the breakdown of the 2021 budget. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro reports that the state government is also fast-tracking the geographic information system to digitalize land administration in the state. His reports.
Infrastructure development, social welfare and well-being, education, youth empowerment and agriculture are the pillars of the current administration in Ogun State. While addressing journalists and editors from across the country virtually, Commissioner for Agriculture and his counterparts in the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Youth and Sports, as well as Chairman of Ogun State Internal Revenue Service, reeled out plans for 2021.
Total revenue that will be required for the 2021 budget is 339 billion, thereabout, and 119 billion is going to come from the internally generated sources. And out of the 119 billion that we are talking about, the Internal Revenue Service alone, that is Ogun State Internal Revenue Service, is expected to deliver 75 billion naira.
Of course, to ensure full accreditation of all programs in the 9 public tertiary institutions and the 8 government colleges, government science and technical colleges.
Then in the area of job creation, we have planned to expand the Anchor Bora program to take in more participants. When we came in as government years ago, 50,000 people registered. As at now, we have about 80,000 registrations.
The budget will afford the people of the state the opportunity of enjoying the dividends of democracy.
We actually have what we call the Ogun State Education Revitalization Agenda, which is anchored on 6 pillars of the curriculum design, school management, revenue and funding, and also on technology integration, infrastructure, and teacher and student welfare.
The good news is that we have budgetary provision to extend the Bola project to all the 20 local government areas of the state. We also want to move into Anchor Bora for cotton, oil palm, and cocoa in 2021. And the government already allocated 10,000 hectares of land for cotton farmer.
What we plan to deliver in 2021. And for us to really deliver the step jump that we are looking forward to achieve, a lot of the things we are going to do is going to ride on the back of automation and digitization. And the key area where we are looking at in terms of the lines or the revenue lines that we are looking more closely into is going to come largely from payee and the work we also call back duty, which is tax audit.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Ogun State Property and Investment Corporation, OPIC, Architect Abiodun Fari Arule, has hinted on new housing schemes that will cater for low-income earners in the state and beyond. Architect Fari Arule, while hosting the management of Ogun State Television, OGTV, led by its General Manager, Mr. Festus Kendi, stated further that the project will complement the achievements of the outgone year 2020.
The rental housing scheme is that once the buildings are ready for occupation, those lucky allottees will just be paying rent. There's no need for any down payments because it's not rent to own, it's just rent to live in.
Closed-door meeting, Architect Fari Arule opened up on more groundbreaking projects nearing completion by the corporation,
which is going to be sited directly opposite the governor's office, and that's beside the Orange Estate at Okemoso. The King's Court that I started when I resumed office in February last year, we've been able to push the project to almost about 80% completion, and I can say that almost all the units have been sold out. This first one is the low density, so the second one is going to be medium density, and it will comprise of luxury 3-bedroom flats and also semi-detached houses. In total, about 64 units.
In furtherance to the essence of the courtesy visit of OGTV management to the OPIC boss, Architect Fari Arole gave his assurance to effective collaboration with OGTV, promising to be of assistance when called upon.
To form synergy with OGTV. In any area, OGTV believes that OPIC can come in to assist them. There's a scheme that we're working out with family homes, which is called rental housing scheme, and is different from rent to own. That once we commence, we'll definitely reach out to OGTV to inform their staff to key into the project.
The general manager of OGTV, Festus Kendi, however, shared his optimism and a fruitful relationship with the sister agency.
We need to develop a synergy with OGTV so that we can complement each other. So I will call this our trip to him a successful one, because we met a gentleman, a professional, and a good administrator.
That was Bashar Festus Kendi that led the management of Ogun State Television to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of OPIC, Architect Abiodun Fari Arole. Moving to other stories, the Nigeria Immigration Service has inaugurated Forward Operation Base in Ilashe to checkmate the menace of illegal migration and human trafficking in the area. While commissioning the project, Controller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service, Muhammad Babandide, urged officers and men of the Nigeria Immigration Service to desist from collecting illegal levy at border points, but discharge their constitutional duties responsibly. Yusuf Gani reports that the event took place at Ilashe in Ipokia local government area of Ogun State. His report.
In the past, officers and men working as border frontiers do not have substantial command and control centers to strategize and coordinate activities of borders officials within defined land border line. But with this intervention by the Nigerian Immigration Service, establishing a forward operation base at Ilashe in Ipokia local government area of Ogun State would no doubt help to tackle the menace of human trafficking and other nefarious activities orchestrated by hoodlums in the areas. The arrival of the Comptroller General Nigerian Immigration Service, Muhammad Babandide, to the commissioning of Forward Operation Base is a demonstration to strengthen security architecture, particularly at the border point.
This forward operational basis for the use of our officers so that they can make good use of it to serve Nigeria better. Thank you.
Muhammad Babandide also noted that President Muhammadu Buhari is working tirelessly to introduce new technology to enhance officers' activities and attract foreign investment in the country.
I would like to state clearly that the Nigerian borders, as far as immigration is concerned, is open. Our land borders, air borders, sea borders are open. The only condition Mr. President has given us is that persons who want to enter or leave Nigeria, migrants and citizens of Nigeria, must travel through the organized port entry and must travel with a travel document. In view of that, I urge immigration officers to desist from collecting levies. There is no levy for entry or exit.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, represented by the State Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Toyin Taiwo, said the establishment of FOB is a symbolic strategy towards ensuring adequate security of border areas. Ogun State Comptroller of Immigration Olakunle Oshisoya, as well as Olof Ilaro and Paramount of Yewaland Oba Kehinde Olugbenle, also gave their remarks.
Officers to prevent illegal entry
and exit. Therefore, the importance of providing residential accommodation for this category of personnel within the operational area cannot be overemphasized.
Nigeria, and this forward operation team, I have to enhance and encourage the officer to put more effort into their operation around this border area.
Fixed marks, among other materials, were later presented to the officers and men of the NIS to protect them against COVID-19 pandemic. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Our sincere apologies for the loss of audio in some parts of that report. The Nigeria Customs Service has reacted to a video circulating on social media with a narrative that the service is destroying the properties of clearing agents at the semi-border. In a statement issued by the Public Relations Officer for the Controller General of Customs, DC Joseph Atta, the service described the video as false and capable of inciting members of the public against the customs. Atta said the land in question belongs to the customs and that it was allocated temporarily to the clearing agent with the agreement that anytime the service has a need for it, they will leave. He lamented that the compliance by the clearing agents who were removing their properties without coercion was given a false narrative. Still to come, Supreme Court dismisses suits by Abacha family over access to looted funds. More news and reports shortly. Stay with us on OGTV News.
To watch us live on your mobile phone, go to Google Play Store for Android, App Store for iOS, Microsoft Store for Windows. Download OGTV mobile app, click Open and click Watch Live TV. OGTV, the people's channel.
You're still watching OGTV News. The federal government of Nigeria has urged states across the country to fund treatment of over 800,000 HIV/AIDS patients in their respective states. The federal government, through the National Agency for Control of AIDS, NACA, revealed that one of the key partners of the project, World Bank, withdrew its funding support. The Southwest Coordinator, Mr. Rahim Muhammad, during the stakeholders meeting held in Osun State, said that states across the country must increase the funding of treatment for people living with HIV/AIDS. Similarly, the National Agency for Control of AIDS lamented that lockdown introduced by countries around the world to curb the spread of COVID-19 has drastically affected the numbers of condoms in circulation. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has raised alarm over what he called the massive influx of the Boko Haram terrorists along the Benue-Nasarawa border, jeopardizing efforts at maintaining peace and security. The governor was in the State House, Abuja, to brief President Muhammadu Buhari on the worrisome situation and the way forward. It was the first formal meeting between President Buhari and the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule in the year 2021. The governor thanked the president for his prompt intervention in dislodging the Boko Haram elements that settled between Nasarawa and FCT and are wreaking havoc at the border.
When I came here the last time, I appealed to Mr. President, and then the DSS, police, Air Force, Army had a joint operation, and they were able to dislodge them. When they dislodged them, a lot of them were killed, some of them ran away and leave their members of the family. We took hostage about 900 members of that family into life here. Now they have gone back and gathered at our border with Benue, and they are causing a lot of havoc. Therefore, it was an opportunity Mr. President wanted to know, so I briefed him, and I strongly believe, just like decision was taken last time to take care of this, another decision will be taken to do this.
Vasile also used the opportunity to show appreciation to President Buhari for approving utilization of the ecological funds towards constructing the road linking Okikarishe and FCT, aimed at easing traffic congestion along Kefi-Abuja Highway.
For all, is if we have additional route from Gitata, Panda, Guruku, and Mpape. That one will solve two of our problems. One, it will go ahead and reduce the traffic jam along these two routes that we have at the moment. And then it will also open up the area for development. In fact, you can call that another Maitama. That's the second Maitama because it's very close to Maitama once we do that. So we came specifically to appeal to Mr. President to take over that route. The government actually discussed it once at the ESCO meeting and took a decision. But I came to see if we can expedite in the commencement of that work.
The governor also briefed the president on the devastating effect of coronavirus on lives and livelihood in the state and solicited the support of the federal government towards controlling and curtailing the pandemic. We'll quickly go back to the question and answer session between the Commissioner for Finance and Chief Economic Advisor in the state, Mr. Dapo Okubadejo, and journalists. There, he disclosed that the state government has approved the establishment of Ogun State Citizens Register Agency. He also said the state government is fast-tracking the geographic information system to digitalize land administration in the state. Tunde Olaniro reports.
Fielding questions from journalists who connected online to the 2021 budget breakdown, the Commissioner for Finance and Chief Economic Advisor of Ogun State, Mr. Dapo Okubadejo, said laws and regulations have been put in place to create a conducive business environment in the state.
One of them is the establishment of the Public-Private Partnership Office, which was predicated on the PPP law that was just set up. We believe very, very strongly that if our vision is anchored on public-private partnership, it is extremely crucial that we have an enabling law or a regulatory framework that gives investors the much-needed confidence that there is a recourse in the event of any dispute, that the clear lines of authorities and responsibilities, and also the framework for engaging with the private sector is.
Mr. Dapo Okubadejo noted that with the new arrangements, land speculation will be a thing of the past.
The state government right now is fast-tracking the digitization of your land administration and management. It is going to be very, very difficult to administer or manage the land resources in a state this big. And so ensuring that the process of acquisition follows due process. The process of acquisition is one in which we allocate land for for the use for which it's meant for.
On generating revenue to cater for the budget size of 338.6 billion naira, the Commissioner for Finance and the Chairman of the Ogun State Internal Revenue Service, OGIRS, stressed that residency rule will be implemented fully.
We are looking to expanding the net. If you look clearly, you will see that not everybody has been paying tax as appropriate. In expanding the net, we are going to look into some areas where we have either to not really done so much work in that area. Let me quickly look at the area of the border tax. The Internal Revenue Service is driven mainly by what we call the residency rule. And what does that mean? It means that everybody that is living in this state, whether you are working in any other state, your tax, your personal income tax must be paid to this state.
And that ties also to citizens' enumeration. As you can tell, citizens' enumeration is very, very crucial in driving this automation and digitization. And that's one of the reasons that the state government has approved the establishment of Ogun State Citizens Registered Agency.
Revenue harmonization will also be put in place to guide against multiplicity of taxes, according to them, noting that the current administration will ensure that both new and existing businesses in the state are flourishing. Tunde Olaniro, OGTV News.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that Africa is in danger of being left behind in accessing safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines. But it said that the continent is in danger of being left behind as countries in other regions strike bilateral deals, driving up prices. It pointed out that as of early this week, 40 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in 50 most high-income countries. However, in Africa, Guinea is the sole low-income nation to provide vaccines, and to date, these have only been administered to 25 people. Seychelles, which is a high-income country, is the only one on the continent to start a national vaccination campaign. Most of the doses are expected to arrive in the second half of the year. These timelines and quantities could change if candidate vaccines fail to meet regulatory approval or production, delivery and funding face challenges. To make sure that vaccines are transported and stored adequately to remain effective, WHO, Gavi, UNICEF and other partners are working with countries to support their readiness to receive vaccines by mapping existing cold chain equipment and storage capacity, as well as providing fund. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has okayed the release of the timetable for the gubernatorial election in Anambra State, saying the schedule is in line with the provisions of 1999 Constitution as amended and the 2010 Electoral Act as amended. Disclosing this on Friday ahead of the Saturday's APC Southeast Stakeholders Summit in the state, Chief Augustine Asubike Mumaife said the timetable would guide political activities and test run of electronic voting with Anambra 2021 poll. Mumaife disclosed that the facelift the Southeast was getting in terms of the infrastructural provision was made possible by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led APC government. The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed another suit filed by the Sani Abacha family seeking access to the looted funds which they and the late Nigerian dictator stashed in foreign bank accounts. The suit filed in the name of Ali Abacha was dismissed by a 5-man panel led by Sylvester Ngaruta for lacking in merit. Kudirat Kekereekun, a justice of the Supreme Court who prepared the lead judgment, held that Mr. Ali Abacha's case was not different from that of a son of the ex-dictator, Abba Muhammad Sani, which was earlier dismissed by the Apex Court on February 7, 2020. Ms. Kekereekun, whose judgment was read by another justice of the Apex Court, Ojembieko, on Friday, said that the case with the same facts and issues was decided recently by the court in Alhaji Abba Muhammad Sani versus the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation. Trial of the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, over alleged 2.2 billion naira fraud was told on Friday after a major witness scheduled to testify for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was absent. Counsel to the commission, Rotimi Jacobs, at the Federal High Court in Lagos, explained that the witness has contracted coronavirus and that he only became aware of the development on Thursday. He added that the only available witness for him was secured on Thursday, and they were only able to file her processes on Friday morning. The EFCC Council maintained that it did not know it will take so long for the main witness to recover from COVID-19. The trial judge, Justice Chukwujemku Aneke, has adjourned the proceedings to January 28 and 29 for continuation of the trial. Men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, River State Command, have discovered an illegal dump where adulterated petroleum products are being stored. It was reported that the dump was found at Rumomase area of Port Harcourt. Located in a compound at 34 Alochukwu Street, Rumomase, Port Harcourt, it was discovered during an intelligence gathering by the Special Anti-Vandalism Team of the NSCDC on the 19th of January. The compound, located in a busy residential area, has a brewery supply store, which perhaps facilitates easy transaction of the illegal business. A car loaded with illegally refined petroleum products, as well as several other gallons loaded with the products, were discovered and seized by the NSCDC team, while the suspect and the landlord of the building were arrested.
Disaster waiting, which was averted by the prompt action of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Through our intelligence, we were able to discover this particular dump.
Suspect, alongside other residents, denied any knowledge of illegal business in the area. Investigation is ongoing to arrest other suspects linked to the illegal act. The police command in Lagos State says it has arrested 4 police officers who allegedly harassed and extorted 70,000 naira from a 16-year-old student on Wednesday at a junction in Isheri area of Lagos State. The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, Mr. Hakim Odumosu, stated this in a statement signed on Friday by the command spokesman, CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The police force said that the acts of the inspectors were counterproductive to the ongoing reform agenda of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Muhammad Adamu. Odumosu said that the command will spread its tentacles in its continuous efforts to fight unprofessional and disgusting acts among police personnel in Lagos State. He also assured the general public of people-oriented and community-based policing styles in Lagos State. 4 houses and 6 shops have been razed in a fire that gutted the Gronepa Building Materials Market in the nation's capital. Eyewitnesses say the fire started from an electrical spark around midnight and burned over 3 hours before it was put out by officials of the Federal Fire Service. Most of the affected traders say they are still taking stock of the items destroyed by the inferno, but it is estimated to be worth hundreds of millions of naira. As they recount the losses, they have also called on the government to come to the raid. This comes just days after a similar incident occurred at the popular Kugo Furniture Market, following what was believed to be an electrical fault. On Glimpses tonight, our radar is on one of the frontline Nigerians in the open era, Chief Emeka Anyaoku. A diplomat of Igbo descent, Chief Anyaoku was the 3rd Commonwealth Secretary General and recently clocked 88 years of age. His birthday precisely on January 18 did not pass us by, and that is why he is on Glimpses tonight.
Heads of government condemned the unconstitutional overthrow of the democratic